From the headquarters of the Guild of Champions, this is the Terrell podcast, and welcome to another week of your weight loss quest. How did this last week go for you? You know, this week is a big week for some of you. It's Thanksgiving week here in America. So for you listening that did indeed go through Thanksgiving, how did it pan out for you? What victories did you have to celebrate? And more importantly, what lessons do you have to extract from your setbacks? Those decisions that you wish you might have made just a little bit differently. Now, if you're new here, I've lost 125 pounds myself after an entire adulthood of chronic yo-yo dieting, up, down, again, before I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired and made some permanent and meaningful and lasting changes to my lifestyle, habits, and routines, my social and cultural setting, my environment, and my system of beliefs. Changing all of these things changed me. And by changing me, I started to do different things. And when I started to do different things, I started to get different results. That's the key, I've realized. If you want a new result, you got to do something different. And there's another phrase that I heard all the time in the past. You got to make it a lifestyle change. You got to change your lifestyle. You got to make it a lifestyle. Now, I used to think that meant I need to learn how to make dieting a lifestyle. That's not what that means at all. It means you need to make an entirely new lifestyle, one that is inconducive, incompatible, incongruent with a body at the size that you are that you don't want to be. In my case, when I was 290 pounds, if I wanted to not be that way anymore, I needed to stop living like a 290-pound person, and I needed to start living like a person that was smaller. Now, I didn't start living like a 170-pound person like I am today. It took me a couple of years to figure out how to do that. But I started living like a 280-pound person, and then I started living like a 270-pound person. And one of the things I realized at the beginning of my journey, I had this theory, this hypothesis that turned out to be, in fact, it worked. And that was that if I adopted the habits of thin people, I would begin to look like thin individuals. Now, of course, not all thin people have the same habits. There's a lot of variety. And so what I started doing, though, was looking for what are those common things, though? What are the common things that people do that maybe I could emulate in my life? And I started thinking, if I'm going to make a forever permanent lifestyle shift, it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that I could do for a long, long period of time. Anything that requires too much effort, I won't be able to do, and I probably won't be able to habitualize it either. And habitualize is an important word. You know, it means you just do it. You're not, it's not a checklist that you're having to make yourself do. Like, it was a habit for me to play video games. I didn't have to choose to play video games. If I just let go of making choices and stopped attempting to make choices, I would just end up at my computer playing video games because it was a habit for me to do that. Well, I need to make new habits. So what I did is I came up with several habits, and I began to figure out how to put them into place. As I started teaching weight loss to people, I needed to give specifics for people to do. But not everyone needs the exact same things, because some people are good at exercise. Like right now, they're starting their weight loss journey at 320 pounds, and they're good at exercise. I have met many a person like that. I have also met many a person that is 325 pounds and they're crushing sleep. They're crushing their hydration. They live in Arizona. They're like, yeah, I getting water here's no problem. We're constantly drinking water, right? Some people actually do pretty good with eating just when they're hungry. Like, they actually do all right with that. And the other thing is they just have created a lifestyle of they never move ever. It's that chair to chair to chair to chair to chair life. And so we have a different problem. But I had to find, like, what are the things that, like, if you're doing them, you will begin to experience change. And I call it the 10 habits. I have been teaching the 10 habits now in my coaching practice. And I have been on the fence about this for a while. about what I'm about to do. And this morning, I have just been feeling so incredibly grateful for the life that I have. And the reason why I am so grateful, or one of the reasons why I'm so grateful is, an extension of that gratefulness is to you, the person listening right now, you. Yeah, you. I'm grateful for you because you have enabled me to spend my time, my life, doing something that I'm passionate about, which is this: helping people achieve and experience more freedom by empowering themselves and by shaping their body into something that doesn't get in their way anymore. I get to spend time as a job coming here on a Friday to sit down in front of my camera and my microphone to record this message to you. I'm grateful I get to do this and I get to call it my job. And it's because of you. And I'm grateful to all of my clients, everybody that's ever put faith and trust in me and said, Chris, I trust you enough to ask you for help. I want you to know that I've never taken that for granted. I've never taken that cavalierly. I have always taken that very seriously and done the best I knew how. And throughout this journey, I have often found my own shortcomings. And of course, I'm going to practice what I preach. And I'm going to look at each one of those shortcomings and go, how can I do better? And I'm going to do better the next time. And of course, as I'm still going to practice what I preach, when I do well, I'm going to go, how could I make it easier to do well again? And I'm going to go do that. And I am so grateful to everyone that's taken a chance on me and has let me stand there by your side in whatever way I'm able to do so, and be in the trenches with you as much as I'm able to do so, however we're able to make it work, so that I can cheer you on as you transform your life. Having a front row seat to people's transformations is a joy and a privilege. Watching people go into something hard and standing there and watching, knowing that I can't help too much because I run the risk of robbing a person of some delightful discoveries about themselves. But I also want to give them just that right nudge so that you don't stop, so that you'll run towards the thing that scares you and learn something new about yourself. And I get a front row seat to watch that, and it is beautiful. Watching people go do something that scares them and come back with that look of pride of, I did it. I've received several messages this morning from people after Thanksgiving, and it just makes me so grateful. Grateful to everybody that's listened to this podcast over the years. Because of you, I am here helping the people I'm working with now. Every client, with the exception of a few that I'm working with now, I was not working with when I started. And it's because of you that I'm here to help them. And I wanted to give back. And so what I decided to do is I'm going to just give you a part of what has been behind the paywall. I'm just going to give it to you. You can have it. It's right here in this podcast. I'm going to give you the 10 habits. And I'm just going to tell you, if you do these, if you just do them, you'll change your life. They're really easy. But because they're really easy, they're actually really hard. Because something that's really easy to do is really easy not to do. And these are going to be really easy because, as I said, you got to be able to do it forever. You got to be able to keep doing it. And some of these, they're going to be easy, but it's going to be hard for you to make it easy because you have backpedaled so much and you have dug yourself into such a pit that it might take you a couple of years to fix this. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth a couple of years of effort. It's worth a couple of years of sacrifice. It's worth some of these really, really uncomfortable, unpleasant conversations. It's worth having them. Because when you start to live a life full of joy, when you start realizing you're not sad when vacation ends, you realize it's because you started doing new things in your home life, in your everyday life. And so I'm going to give them to you, all 10 right now. Now, before I do that, I need to first invite you to come join my free Facebook group. If you're not part of my Facebook group, I would love to have you come be in it. We're 5,000 people strong at the time of recording this. I imagine in the future it'll continue to grow and be even bigger. And I would love to have you come be a part of it. I go live there every Monday morning at 9 a.m. with a live stream to kick off your week. Often we'll do Q&A at the end of that. And the live streams are left up for you to watch. And it's also, on top of that, it's a great community of people. You get to meet so many other weight loss warriors that are out there just in the trenches every day working to better themselves. And you get to bump shoulders with them and talk to them. And you got people at every phase of the weight loss journey in there. People from day 0 all the way to those that are like me, that are on the other side of the weight loss phase, and we're in our maintenance journey phase. You got people of every phase in there that you can talk to, ask questions to, get support from, and all of them come at least to some extent with a similar philosophy of weight loss. And it'll help when you're trying to piece together your own weight loss strategy and your own weight loss plan. You can find a link to that by going to christerrellcoaching.com, and you'll find a link on the homepage, or you can go to the show notes of the podcast, and in the show notes, you will find a link that'll take you to the Facebook group. And I'd love to have you come be a part of it. And now, let me go ahead and give you these 10 habits. They are in no particular order, and it is not about doing them all at once. All right? I'm not going to, in this podcast, be able to teach you how to implement all of them. That takes time. All right? This is but one podcast episode. So this one podcast episode will be me introducing it and giving a little bit about each one. I'm going to get through all 10. So the first one that we're going to talk about is drinking 60 ounces of water per day. There are so many benefits to being well hydrated, and I want you to stay well hydrated. It helps for you mentally, for your mental health. It will help you for your sleep. And also, sometimes when you think you're hungry, you're actually thirsty. So I want you to work on this. And the reason why I like this habit so much is because there is literally nothing in this world that can stop you from doing it but you. It is a completely solvable problem. It doesn't matter how stressful your life is, you can work on this and you can put it into place. And that's why I love this water habit. It's one of those things. You're not reliant upon anyone else because all you got to do is get a favorite water bottle and carry it around with you like it's a part of your personal brand. And then just always keep water in it. And then just always keep drinking it. And you'll find you drink 60 ounces of water per day. It's pretty easy. Habit number 2 is I want you to eat 60 ounces of protein at a minimum every day. Every day. Well, Chris, but what about a holiday? Yeah, that day too. It's actually pretty easy. What about my birthday? Yeah, that day too. Well, I just don't really like meat. Okay, well, there's lots of plant-based protein, right? 60 grams of protein. I don't care where you get it from. I prefer you get it from your food. Not supplements, because we're talking new lifestyle change. That might mean you need to learn to eat new things that you don't currently eat, right? But you need to get 60 grams a day. Protein is so important to maintaining the muscle mass, and you need your muscle mass. All right, I'm not talking about being some bodybuilder. I'm not going to get into it in this podcast, but I'm going to let you do it. Just type in muscle mass, old age importance. Just Google that and just start reading. And you'll just start seeing just how important it is to have muscle mass. Well, what do you need to build muscle mass? You need protein. What do you need to maintain muscle mass? Protein. And some other things, but protein. You got to have the protein. It's important. It's the building blocks. It does all the repair work. You got to get at least 60 grams. I want you to get more, right? But the base habit, the one you do forever, 60 grams a day. Just get in 60 grams a day. That's it. Habit number 3. This one's the hardest one, by the way. And this one's the most important. Like if you're only going to do one habit, do the one I'm about to give you. Habit 3, all right? If you're only going to do one, do this one. It's eat when you're hungry and stop eating when you've had enough. That's it. Now, there's a 2-part of this. First, you have to learn how to tell when are you hungry. So you're going to have to do some experiments on your body to find out how to sense your hunger signal. Because some people will say things like, I don't get hungry. Yes, you do. You probably just don't ever let your stomach get empty long enough for that to happen. You might not be waiting long enough for the hunger signal to show up. It's crazy. A lot of times when people will start doing this, for the first day, they're like, it's 4:30 and I'm not hungry yet. I'm like, I know. That's how overfed you were when you started. Your body is sitting on excess energy. It's sitting on 5 pounds or about 2,000 calories of glycogen. And if it's topped off, that's about the max. And so if you're regularly eating simple carbs, your glycogen's probably always topped off. And that means any excess is getting deposited into fat. But since your glycogen is always topped off, when you stop eating, because you're waiting for the hunger to show up. Your body's just getting into the glycogen because it's full. It has plenty. It has no problems converting the glycogen into the energy to power the body. So it doesn't need the food. And then, but about 5, 6 o'clock the next day, the body's like, okay, I would prefer food. We've dipped into glycogen enough. We've been going all day off the stuff. We need some food. All right? That's how the body works. And so some of you do get hungry. You forgot how to be hungry. It's crazy. I know, but I was one of those. I had forgotten what hunger was like. What does hunger feel like? What is it? How do you respond to hunger? And then I had to stop. The arguably potentially more important part is, when do you stop? And that took a lot of work. And there's a lot that I teach about on that one in the Guild, on how do you know when to stop eating. But it's when you've had enough. And I'll give you the starter one. This is the day zero, like I'm just beginning my journey. What do I need to know when enough is? Enough is when the feeling of hunger is gone. So when you're eating and you know you're not hungry, that doesn't mean you could keep, forget if you could keep eating or not. That's irrelevant right now. You're just learning the hunger part. Once the feeling of hunger has vanished, stop eating. Even if there's food in front of you, even if it tastes good, even if more will fit, you're not hungry anymore. That means you've had enough. Could you eat more? Yes, but you need to baby step your way to figuring this out. And so what I want you to do at that point, when the hunger feeling is gone, stop eating. And when the hunger feeling comes back, eat again. So one of the things you could do is, when you're eating, just stop eating and leave the food in front of you. And if you get hungry 5 minutes later, eat a little bit more of it. Just take a few bites and then see if the hunger signal goes away. And you just sort of pick at it. You don't have to stop eating just once the food ran out. You're allowed to stop sooner. You can actually stop eating anytime you want. And that's where this habit is based around. Now let's move to habit number 4, which is really important. Oh, actually, before I do that, I have something really important I want to tell you about. The Guild, my weight loss membership, my group coaching program, is the place to be if you are serious about your weight loss journey. If you want to not only have access to all of the information you need to help you through each and every single phase and chapter of your weight loss journey, if you also want to have access to a community with people that will support you and encourage you, and if you want access to courses designed to help you do things such as finding your why, adopt a more empowering mindset, or courses on how to track your calories and how to do a calorie tracking based weight loss program, or a whole course on these 10 habits, you can get access to all of that by joining my Guild. It's $50 a month. You can cancel anytime, no sign-up fee. Now, if you are listening to this as this podcast is released, is Friday the 24th, which is Black Friday. So for Black Friday weekend, you can get the Guild for $40 a month. Now, that's $40 a month, and it stays $40 a month. So it's $40 a month until you cancel. Even though on Monday the price is back up to $50, you'll still be at $40 a month. So if you're wanting to get it at a discount, it is a great deal. And if you've been waiting for the time to join the Guild, this weekend is the time, because the Guild will not be this cheap again. And so this is the time to do it. And I look forward to having you be in the Guild. You can find a link to that in the show notes, or you can go to theguildofchampions.com. That's theguildofchampions.com. And there's a video there. It'll explain everything about what it is, and you can make your decision if you want to do it. If you are uncertain about the Guild, you do not need to just take my word and come in blindly. Come into the Facebook group and just ask. Say, is anyone a member of the Guild? I have questions. You ask, you can have people in the community answer the questions for you. All right. So you can get live, current, in the moment reviews from people. All you got to do is go into the free Facebook group and ask, and people will gladly come answer the question for you. We have some reviews posted if you want to read those, but you could read old ones, or you could just get ones responded directly to you in that free Facebook group. Link to that at christerrellcoaching.com. All right, habit number 4, sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. Y'all, sleep is not a cliche. Sleep is actually really important. Sleep is one of the most important things you could be working on and should be working on a weight loss journey. You've got to be working on your sleep. Now, some of you, you're going to begin your journey like how I began mine, which is to say, how to say this. You have sacrificed your sleep as a solution for problems for a long time. And so your answer to, I have no time to spend with my kids, so you decided to sacrifice sleep to spend time with your kids. Well, the reason why you had no time with your kids is because your work is taking up too much of your life. Or the reason why you have no time with your kids is because you're spending too much time playing video games, right? And so instead you said, no, I'm going to do both. I want to play my video games and I want to have time with my kids. So I'm just going to not sleep. I'll just stay up late. No, that's a terrible ass answer to your problem. You need to solve this in an entirely different way. But some of you will now have arranged your lifestyle in such a way that it's actually going to be hard to claw back that time. It might take you a year to claw back that time from the rest of your life so that you can sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. And you also might be somebody that has convinced yourself that you are fine on 5 or 6 hours a night. You don't actually need more than that. You're like, yeah, 4 or 5 hours a night, I'm fine. As long as I get that, I'm good to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. No, you don't get to say that unless you have also been sleeping longer for a long period of time. So you have something to compare it to. Just because you're functioning doesn't mean it's the best. You know, when you're going around with 4 hours of sleep, it's like walking around when you need glasses without glasses. It's like, I can read enough to get by, but then all of a sudden you put on your glasses, you're like, holy shit, the world's in 4K. Like, what? Wow, I've been doing this all the time? Yeah, this is so much better. That's what sleep's like. Some of y'all thinking you're fine with less sleep. You're walking around and you just need the glasses put on you. And the glasses in this case are 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night over time. So you're a well-rested individual. It's amazing the difference it'll make. Habit number 5, structured exercise for 20 minutes, 3 times per week. Structured exercise for 20 minutes, 3 times per week. Structured exercise is not a walk around the block unless you're timing it and you're pushing yourself to improve performance. Okay, there's the difference. If it is structured, you have set aside the time, you are tracking what you're doing, and you have some means of measuring performance. Even if it's something as simple as yoga, the way you could measure performance is, can you do the pose? The way the instructor is demonstrating it. You'll start not being able to do the pose. A month later, you'll be able to do it. You will now know that you have improved. You see the difference? I'm going to go for a walk. Okay, great. That walk around your block is fine. But unless you're timing yourself and making yourself steadily get faster, that walk around the block is going to reduce in effectiveness over time. So the minimum habit, minimum, do more, but minimum is structured exercise for 20 minutes, 3 times per week. Habit number 6 is 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily. 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily. This one's really important because weight loss comes through neat movement more than exercise. Neat movement is way more important. If you're regularly getting 7 to 10,000 steps a day, you are keeping that metabolism in your body moving, right? Metabolism doesn't mean what you think it means. We're not going to get into that today. But metabolism, think of it in terms of you're revving an engine. You're pushing down the gas pedal. Neat movement is you just gently pushing down the gas pedal and you get going, right? You just keep that machine moving and it'll constantly be needing a steady drip of gasoline being fed to it. That's why you need to get 7 to 10,000 steps a day. Habit number 7 is you need to actually reworded that one. You need to do 10 minutes of intentional personal development work every day. That one actually used to be read from a book, but I've since shifted that after just working with people to realize like it's really more about doing intentional personal development work. That could actually mean journaling. In some cases. That could mean listening to an audiobook. That could mean reading an audiobook. It's more, reading a book. You don't read an audiobook. That's funny. But it's more about doing what is necessary for the place and time. That one, there's a bit of nuance to it, and I teach about that in the Guild on how you implement that one. But just essentially your takeaway for you in the beginning is have something that you can point to and say, I am doing that every day. That is what I'm doing. Just have something that you can point to. Habit number 8. I want you to learn something about weight management every day. Every day I want you to learn something. We spend our time learning the little tiny details and facts about the things that we find the most important to us. Some of you I know listening, you are all about that celebrity gossip. And so you're staying up to date on all sorts of little tiny shit that nobody cares about. Or not nobody, but most people don't care about, except for those in your circle. And you care about it a lot. I can think to me, video games. Some video game would come up. I know teeny tiny details about shit that nobody else that doesn't play this video game cares about. No one cares about it unless you play this video game. And then very much care about it. Some TV show, some movie. some play, some musical. I learned so many little tiny things about Hamilton when it came out. It's like, why? I don't even use that knowledge anymore because I just got obsessed with it. And I wanted to learn all the teeny tiny things so I could appreciate and enjoy it more. Well, guess what? If you're not willing to spend the time to learn teeny tiny facts and figures and tidbits of knowledge to help you on your weight loss journey, I'm not entirely sure you're taking this very seriously. I don't actually think you care that much. Like if you're willing to learn about it on your own, all right, now I think you kind of care. But if you're not even willing to go learn, how much do you really care? It sounds like when I see someone that all they do is, that just sounds like you like talking about it is what I think, right? Like if you're not going to go learn about it, you just want to talk about it. And you're not going to learn anything by just continually spouting what you already know. Like that doesn't help you. You need to go, what do I not know? And let me go then find the answer to it. And now let me go find the next thing I don't know. And then let me find the answer to that. And then let me go find the next thing I don't know. But so many people, they're so afraid with coming face to face with their own ignorance, they won't even go find something that it is they don't know because they're so afraid of feeling like, I know, like, what if, oh no, I don't know everything. That means I'm an imposter. That means I'm not good enough, right? Sometimes we bring some really stinking thinking to this. To learning, to the act of learning. You've got to remove all fear of learning and run as fast as you can towards the areas of weight management that are completely lost to you, that you know nothing about, the areas where you're like, I don't actually know how that works. You have to be willing to say the phrase to yourself, I don't know. I wonder how. I wonder why. And then go get the answer. And stop acting like you know everything. It's a big one. That's a big habit. And I still do that one, actually. I mean, it helps. It's part of my job, but I would still keep doing it. Habit number 9. Eat snacks at snack time and treats at treat time. There is no good food. There is no bad food. There is just food. Food is not fuel. Food is a tool. And so you are to use the right tool for the job. And you know what? Sometimes the right tool is to be a treat. And sometimes it's to be a snack. And sometimes it's to be a meal. And you know what? M&Ms are treats. They're not snacks. You don't need me to explain that. You know the difference. And so when it's snack time, have a snack. When you're in the afternoon and you're feeling a little peckish, you don't have some M&Ms, you have a granola bar. When it's in the evening and you want to have a nice little treat to end up the day, you have yourself your little bit of kettle corn. That's what I have. And you have something sweet and tasty. Why? Because it's treat time. And you have your treat, your reasonable treat that you have picked. You should have both. And a weight loss journey should not require you to give up snacks and should not require you to give up treats. However, it is up to you to decide when you should have snacks and when you should have treats and what those should be, right? That doesn't mean you get to have all the snacks and all the treats at all the times. That's not what that means. You can have whatever you want. You just can't have however much you want, however often you want it. And then the last habit, the one that is the thorn in the side of everyone, because it is so hard to do, and I have yet to meet a person that is 100% good at this 100% of the time. And that is to set utensils or food down between bites. Set food or utensils down between bites. You eating a taco? Guess what? When you take a bite of taco, you set it down on the plate until you're done chewing the bite, and then you can put another one in. When you're having pizza, you take a bite of pizza, then you set the pizza down on the plate and you take another bite when the first bite's gone. When you're eating with, like, you're at your Chipotle and you're having a double chicken bowl because it's super good and it's got like a ton of protein in it, and you take a bite of it, you just set the fork or the spoon down. You know, Candace and I call it stabby or scoopy. You set your scoopy down. And then you just leave it there. By the way, we only call it that at Chipotle. That's not a thing that we do everywhere. No. That's a Chipotle thing. So you can't adopt that and start thinking I call spoons scoopies. I do not. So anyway, you set your stabby down, right? And then when you're done, you get another bite and you set it down and you contemplate, do I need to pick up the next bite with the spoon or with the fork? Which have we reached spoon phase of the bowl, right? You just sort of think about the food or think about whatever while you're chewing. You don't have to be chewing and then have the next bite of food held in front of your face. Like, I'm ready. The moment that mouth is clear, we're getting that next bite in. That's what I used to do. It's like, I'd eat like a squirrel. It's like I'd have one in one hand and then food in the other sometimes. It was just, I had to slow myself down. And so I just told myself, start setting the utensil down between bites. All right, everyone, that is my 10 habits of weight loss. Just introducing them to you here. I would love to teach you why we do the 10 habits, how to implement the 10 habits, the purpose of them, how you integrate them into a calorie-based program, how it becomes a part of your maintenance program. I would love to teach you everything I know about this. And the place I do all that teaching is in the Guild. I have tons of recorded content in there walking you through it, and I'm providing live content each and every single week. If you're serious about your weight loss journey, if you're really wanting to level up, I want to invite you to come join and get that support that you need. If you've been thinking about working with me directly, I want you to know the Guild is where you do that. I do my one-on-one coaching there in the Guild. So if you're wanting to work with me, that's the first place to go anyway. I would love to have you be in that community and help you get across the finish line of your journey. My job is not to get you there faster because there's no such thing as a quick fix. My job is to make sure you don't quit. My job is to make sure you get to the finish line. And I got to provide that community for you. I got to provide the knowledge. I got to provide the inspiration. I got to provide the support. And we are adding more to the Guild each and every single month and quarter. And I got some great plans for the next year. And we've done so many great things in there this year. So you can wait to the first of the year. If you've been thinking about doing it, that's fine. Or you can come in there now. I'll let you know at the first of the year, we are going to be doing I'm going to do a coaching program in there all about calorie tracking at the first of the year. If you're in the Guild, you don't have to pay for it. It just comes as part of Guild membership. But I'm going to take everyone through my Fat Loss Accelerator program where we utilize calorie tracking to help us peel the fat loss off of us. Right now, we're doing an empowerment accelerator where we're trying to rapidly accelerate the rate of empowerment that you experience in your life. We are constantly looking in the Guild, how can we get you an acceleration? And the reason why I call it an accelerator, I want you to, and this is important because you might be thinking like, well, Chris, I already know how to track calories. Why would I want to do this? Have you ever heard someone say something like, I love going fast. I have a need for speed. You might have heard someone say that. You might even be one of those people that say that. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson explained this to me, or not to me personally. He explained it when I was listening to him on Star Talk, his podcast. And he said, people don't like to go fast. He said they like to accelerate. They like to feel the feeling of suddenly moving quickly. And that makes total sense, right? If you're on a plane, you don't feel how fast you're going when you're at speed at altitude. But boy, on the runway, you sure feel it, right? When you feel that acceleration. Acceleration triggers a feeling of what is called progress. And progress feels like motivation. When you're experiencing progress, you will experience the emotion of motivation that comes with that. And one of the things people will ask me is, Chris, how do I stay motivated on a weight loss journey? Well, the way you do that is by experiencing progress. And one of the best ways to experience progress is to get some acceleration in your life somewhere. And so if you have been looking for a regular, steady drip of challenges and things designed to help get you acceleration, that's an example of the sort of things we do in the Guild, where I give you a program and we're going to get you some progress right away. And then we're going to bounce to something else. And we're going to jump over here to something else. And we're going to jump over here to something else, because I also want the journey to stay new and exciting. And we circle around and do the same things. But the goal here is to get you across the finish line. This is more than likely going to be a multi-year journey. And so I want to make sure you've got the support and the variety to get you through the entire journey. You're not going to come in here to the Guild and get everything in a couple of months. Just not going to happen. I got too much in there and we ain't slowing down. So it's more about coming in and hopping in the river with us and floating down the middle of the stream, not fighting the current, which I found has really been helpful for me in my life, just doing that. Just sitting in the middle of the current of the metaphorical stream of life and just stop fighting and just go with it. Life has gotten a lot more smooth and comfortable as I've been doing that. Have a great day. Happy post-Thanksgiving to everyone. And I hope to see you in the Guild sometime in the next couple of months. I'd love to get to meet you and help you achieve the body and life of your dreams.